Let's start with the first game of the day. This one started bright and early out on the West Coast. Well, I guess not bright and early. It was like 11 o'clock. But still, early for a baseball game. It was the Astros and the White Sox. The Astros came out on top. They won big. Look, let's just get the elephant out of the room here. I had the White Sox winning the World Series, okay? To win the World Series, they would have to win this series. Now, it's 2-0 Astros. The series is heading to Chicago. Let me say this right now. This series is over. The Astros will win this series. I truly thought the White Sox pitching could come out and be better and shut them down, but it didn't happen. It hasn't happened. 2-0, and not looking good for the White Sox. It's been a little disappointing. They came out today. Today was a must-win. I thought the Astros were going to win Game 1. They did. I thought the White Sox could come out and win Game 2. And it was back and forth for a little while there, and then they just broke it open. Broke it open in a big, big way. 9-5 victory. Great defense from the very start. First play of the game, Carlos Correa makes a sick play up the middle, fires it to first. Jose Altuve's making diving plays. It was sick. Look, this is a lot about the Astros. They're up 2-0 as we head to Chicago. But one thing I have to say is that Luis Robert is a stud. Tony La Russa, who has been around the game for a long, long time, said recently he's the next Mike Trout, which I don't love that comparison for a couple reasons. Mike Trout's one of the greatest of all time. I find that comparison to be a little weird. Also, Mike Trout is still playing and still Mike Trout. So I don't know how that works. But this guy is a stud. He's been getting tons of – he's really the only guy, one of the only guys. Jose Abreu looked good today, but Luis Robert stepped up in a big, big way. He's gotten multiple hits in every game of this series so far. I'm excited to watch this guy in the future, but you got to get a split if you're the White Sox here. You have to. They didn't. Now they have to win 3 in a row, 2 at home, and then they have to come back to Houston where they just – to be honest with you, haven't been good all year long. They're up against it, and that is why I am saying I believe the Astros are going to win this series and going to advance. But look, player of the game, in my opinion, today was a great game for a lot of people on this Astros team. They put up a bunch of runs. The player of the game for the Houston Astros was without a doubt Kyle Tucker. Friend of the pod, I might add, Kyle Tucker. A dominant day at the plate. And I believe I called this earlier on Twitter because Lucas Giolito, the starter for the White Sox, was also a friend of the pod. He strikes out the side in the first inning. I tweeted about it saying, you come on the show, you get good luck. That has proven to be more true than I could have dreamed. Seriously, you come on the show, you become great. I tweeted that and somebody said, but what about Kyle Tucker? Kyle Tucker was on the show too. I said, you're right. Just wait. And what did he do? Well, he went 2 for 4. 3 RBIs, a huge home run in the 7th inning, had a fantastic ball game. Player of the game, without a doubt, Kyle Tucker, friend of the pod. Great game for the Astros. I am saying right here, right now, Astros are winning this series. Great game for Houston as they head to Chicago. Kyle Tucker, by the way, coming off of the AL Player of the Month. I saw a cool post-game interview from Carlos Correa, who talked about Kyle Tucker in depth, who's not a guy, when you think about this lineup, he's not even one of the first 4 guys you think of. You think Jose Altuve, you think Carlos Correa, you think Alex Bregman, you think Yordan Alvarez, you think Yuli Gurriel. At what point do you get to Kyle Tucker? Around 5, 6, or 7. Carlos Correa talked about that postgame and said this guy has consistently been one of the best hitters in all of baseball. He's the most underrated player in baseball. And by the way, I just had my most underrated players in baseball list last week. He was on it. But for real, this guy has been the best player in baseball. The last month of the season, he was the AL Player of the Month. And he just pulled it right on into the postseason. So if you get this kind of production out of your 6, 7 guy in the lineup, the sky is the limit for the Houston Astros. What a start to this series. What a first 2 games. And Kyle Tucker, player of the game in this series. So, as I promised you guys, this show would be fun, interactive. You ask me a question, I'll answer. So we got some fan questions for you. from this series. So let's see the first one. It comes from Alan. He says, will the Astros reverse the jinx by, after losing to the White Sox back in 2005, the heartbreaking loss in the World Series? So, yes. Yes, this series is, in my opinion, this is too much to climb out of. I know they're heading home. I know they get to go back to Chicago and have a home playoff game, 2 home playoff games. But look, it's more than just it being 2-0 for me. For me, it's now about Carlos Rodon, who is such a dominant piece in this rotation. He's now a question mark. You know, he's been so good, but the last 2 starts, his velo's been down. He's now throwing later in the series. We don't know what we're going to get from him. I think this is over. It's too much. Even if they exhaust all options, go out there and throw everybody they can to win games 3 and 4, they still have to go back to Houston for a game 5, and they do not do well there. So, yes, Alan, I believe the jinx will be reversed. Gavin asked, what were you thinking by picking the White Sox to win the World Series? Gavin, thank you so much for that wonderful question. Here's what I was thinking. I liked the way this team was built. Pitching, a great back end of the bullpen, and a good offense. What we haven't even gotten to see is the back end of the bullpen. The offense looked really good today. But look, to be honest with you, the Astros offense has just proven, at least so far in this series, that you're not going to beat them. Their great offense is going to beat your good pitching. And the problem is, Lance Lynn has not been good against the Astros all year long. He hasn't been good. So that right there probably should have factored into this decision at some point. And let me mind you, I picked the White Sox to win a long time ago. So I had to stick with them. But Lance Lynn hasn't been good all year against the White Sox. And then today you get Lucas Giolito, who, to be honest with you, I thought threw really well. He did not have his stuff. The guy battled. I was really impressed by the outing he had. He clearly didn't have his A game, and he went out there and gave a few good innings and came out with the lead. But to be honest with you, I think the Astros win it now, and I wasn't thinking right. It's fine.